prisoner. And I'm like, but why would you say he escaped as your cover story and not just say he's dead?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
He's on death row. Just say a prisoner.
And the other thing is, you are putting all the local police on high alert.
They all go looking for him. I was like, it's the worst cover story. I was like, he escaped. Okay, great, brilliant.
Brian's an expert at this stuff.
It just seems very obvious that a prisoner on death row, if you want to pretend he's not around anymore, he died.
Yes.
It seems like super, like Bad Guy 101. I don't know.
Hello, class, and welcome to Bad Guy 101. As you can see in your syllabus, our first section is How to Make a Death Row Prisoner Disappear.
Can't we just say they escaped?
Get out.
Fine, but I'm doing it anyways.
Hello and welcome back to the 57th episode of Good Bad or Bad Bad. Shall we watch terrible movies? Tell you if you should too. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Shaw. Joined, as always, the other inimitable, might be the right word, host, Mr. Kyle Hinton, rocking the Quantum Physics shirt, which is now a collector's item because they are all sold out. If you want one, you can't have one yet. Eventually, you may be able to get a chance at. You'll never get a first run of them. Those are all gone, but there may be a chance at some more later. Anyways, let's get into today's movie. It was a recommendation from a fan in memoriam of his father, who he used to watch this movie with and have a great laugh. So we decided to check it out, did a little clicking around, found it on YouTube.
And I hope everybody's psyched who is a Tom Clancy fan.
Right? Oh my God. It made me so mad.
Yes, exactly.
I was like.
So the main character, this is named Jack Ryan.
That is Jack Ryan.
Which is the Tom Clancy.
Yes, the Tom Clancy.
Federal agent, too.
Yeah, he's an FBI agent. This guy's a DEA agent. So the movie is Cyborg Cop 2. We're jumping straight to the sequel. We'll talk about the first one in a little bit. Because we're going to have to do that eventually because of one specific reason. One, because this movie's great, but two, because of another reason. So Cyborg Cop 2. First question, Kyle, is our cop a cyborg?
No.
No?
Or we don't know.
He could be. He's not. That's bullshit. He's
true.
just a guy.
You looking for trouble, Ryan?
I'll make it man.
You goddamn son of a bitch!
See, Travis, I was born for trouble.
So it's a little bit of a deceptive name, but I guess the idea is that he's a cop who fights cyborgs, and then hence Cyborg Cop, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, so he, like you said, his name's Jack Ryan.
A couple of vets go to the ranch asking a whole lot of questions.
What about?
One Jack Ryan.
Now, this movie came out in 1994. The first one came out in 1993. Plenty of Jack Ryan stuff existed by this point.
How could you tell it was from the 90s?
Everything. Everything.
And at risk of making our UK viewers laugh and piss their pants, the fanny packs.
Oh. Yeah. Yes. Fanny packs galore. Now, fanny packs are making a comeback these days, but boy, this is peak fanny pack of 1993/4. Our main character wears one most of the film.
Yes.
It's quite delightful.
He wears a black fanny pack. He has a beautiful leather jacket that's like the most generic thing ever. Yeah. And a fanny pack.
And a fanny pack that he uses very effectively to hide a gun in the beginning of the film. So yeah, again, to get back to the Jack Ryan thing, because I have so many notes where I'm just angry and trying to figure out if they did that on purpose or if the person who wrote this didn't know, or how they didn't get sued by making their like detective or like their main like agent guy named Jack Ryan.
Yes.
Like, because okay, at this point, Hunt for Red October has been out. I mean, there's a bunch of books, I think. But even discounting the books, Hunt for Red October is out at this point, and Clear and Present Danger have both been come out by now. So like, there's no excuse for not knowing who Jack Ryan is and why you should.
You got Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
You got Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. Yeah. And exactly. And the thing is, it's like, so were they doing that on purpose? Is this like, because it's a generic enough name that they can just like name him Jack Ryan and then pretend, never say that he's the Jack Ryan, but just kind of, if you think he is, and that helps us sell more movies, then
Would you be blown away? Would you be blown away if Tom Clancy was like a consultant on this movie?
I would be completely blown away. There's a 0% chance Tom Clancy had anything to do with
it was when he was trying to get his sci-fi novels sold, but it just couldn't happen for some reason.
I said drop those weapons. All right, open fire.
So this movie opens up with naked women packaging drugs, as you do. But it's a drug bust. The opening scene of this movie is like 20 minutes long. It's like a fifth of the movie. It's insane. It just goes on forever. And there were so many blanks fired and explosives used that I was like, this has to be all the budget for their movie. That's the thing that blew my mind. The budget for this movie had to have been pretty girthy. Because there was
a bunch of explosives.
Like, holy shit. There was never a time where they're like, should we put an explosion in? Nah. They were always like, yep, like 6 of them.
It was starting to get borderline Michael Bay-ish.
Yeah, it's... ridiculous. Every scene. There's so many scenes. By the time we hit the halfway point, I'm like, this can't... Are they gonna have, like, this... How are they gonna top the middle of this movie? We've had, like, 8,000 explosions.
Talking about the truck stop?
Yeah, the truck stop scene is... I was like, this, how is this not the end of the movie? Like, everything explodes.
No, because in opt of having everything legitimately explode, because that's a legitimate explosion that they use for that.
Yeah.
Miniatures.
How am I ever going to explain this?
Which, this movie does so many delightful bad movie things. It has really shitty mannequins that explode as stand-in for characters.
They're so bad.
So great. It's so obviously dummies. It has at least 2 miniature shots of things exploding. There's a sweet helicopter. We'll get to it. But it's got miniature explosions, and it's got cyborgs that look terrible.
But Cyborg is not merely a robot. He has emotions. He thinks. He feels.
That look... They border on robo-vampire levels of that's a robot.
Oh, you mean the plastic foam covering stuff? Yes.
And how the main character, when they put him in the cyborg thing, in order to make him look like a cyborg, they have to build him like a costume. But in order for that to work, it's like makes him look way bigger. So then his head is tiny on a giant frame.
It's like what's his last name? Peter RoboCop.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
Peter Weller?
Yeah,
I think it's Weller.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that where it's like, oh no.
Yeah, it's amazing. So there's a drug thing going down at the beginning of this, and this gang shows up and they have like a dispute between the drug sellers and drug buyers, or it doesn't matter.
You're looking for me? You bald fuck! You've been holding out on me, Bats. You're 90 days overdue. And I thought I'd just come and pick up payment for the last 3 shipments.
But our main bad guy, I don't know his name.
Morgan Hunter.
Oh, no. His last name is it's something crazy.
Starkraven. Morgan Hunter's the actor, and boy, was he worth the money.
Jack Ryan. Jack. Do we know each other? Does the name Harlan Starkraven ring a bell? Should it? You blew him out of the sky last year in that raid. You put him in a body bag. You killed my brother.
Holy shit! But no, he wasn't. He wasn't.
The beginning was.
The beginning. That's Kyle.
I don't know how that happened.
Why would you get a guy like that?
I don't want to talk to you, Jack. I want to kill you. I'm gonna rip your heart out. I'm gonna hold it in my hand.
Who is so amazing and over the top. Like, he's, in the beginning of this movie, he's insane. Like, in the best way you want a villain to be.
I'll see you in hell, Ryan!
And you know what? So they're like, this guy's great. What should we do? Turn him into a robot so that all he does for the rest of the movie is
Talk like this.
Talk like this.
Cyber Mass Production Center. Doctor, I'm going to build a cyborg army.
It's such a waste of potential. Like, it's so infuriating.
And there was a weird thing there was a point where he went back to his normal thing.
Hello, Ryan.
Drop the gun, Starkraven.
Name's Spartacus.
And then that never happened again.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird. So he shows up and there's a big there's a big fight between these two gangs or whatever, and they're killing everybody, just gunfire like nonstop. There's also so many, another great thing I love in movies, so many stunt falls off of roofs in this. It's amazing. So there's one guy where he gets shot off the roof and he screams the whole way down, shooting his gun. It's so fucking amazing. I love so many things about this movie. This is what I wrote. This bald guy is amazing. Like, and you know what? It took me forever to figure out who he reminded me of. And I figured it out like halfway through the movie. Wait. Do you have an idea?
I was thinking something along the line of what was his name? Smith Kurtwood from RoboCop, Red Foreman.
Oh, that's not who I was.
Weirdly enough, looks very similar too.
What I was thinking he reminded me of was he was a poor man's Rutger Hauer. He very much looked like Rutger Hauer. He reminded me something about his face and the way he moved his face reminded me of Roy Batty a little bit, and it was delightful. But then they turn him into a robot.
We are the masters of our own destiny, and soon we will be in charge of our own fuel supplies. Prepare to move out.
It's all ADR, at least in the beginning of this movie, all pretty mediocre ADR.
Where are you, Pats? You're looking for me? You bald fuck!
Yeah, there's so many great just nonsense stunts. There's one where I think the cops show up at this point, and yeah, I think it's when the cops show up. So there's a big shootout, and then it kind of calms down, and then he shoots a grenade and blows them all up or something. Like one of them shoots a grenade and kills a bunch of them, and then the cops show up, and then there's another shootout. And at one point, one of the gang guys is on the roof of inside. There's like a ledge he's on. He doesn't even get shot. He just falls off and does a stunt dive off. I was like, you didn't even get shot.
There is one dude who is the best of all the henchmen who we get no name of him or anything. It's whenever driving the truck up and they're doing this whole truck sequence. Yeah. A guy with a knife jumps out of nowhere and grabs somebody off the back of that truck. That dude has like a blonde mullet, glasses, a bandana on. He looks insane. Also, did you notice that literally every single henchman at the beginning of this film was wearing a vest?
Yeah, there's lots of vests.
There's so many vests.
I assume the vests are there to hide squibs or something. Like, put them in a vest and we can put a squib under it easier. I don't know. Yeah, but holy cow. Also, the music in this movie...
It's the same song over and over.
It's the same, and it's so bad. I was infuriated with how bad the music in this movie.
Once we got to the scene where they used different music, I was just on my knees.
Yeah. Well, none of it ever fits. The scene,
especially even like the main, like when they have their first like fight thing, it's just like, this is the same music.
Yeah, and it's not exciting, it's not dramatic, it's just like weird fake orchestral music, like symphony music.
You're under arrest.
It's very clearly not real. It's like MIDI filed like symphony music, and there's points where it's like weird like patriotic like horns that don't fit the scene at all.
That's a big stick. Do you see this? What are you looking at? Say hi.
And we'll get to it more as we get throughout the movie, but holy shit, the music is bad. So then our motorcycle cops show up. Our two partners we're introduced to. We don't even learn the partner's name until like he gets his funeral. I'm pretty sure it's like he doesn't even get like a line in the movie.
Yeah, it's
I wonder if he was from the first one. We'll have to see when we go back eventually and do Cyborg Cop 1. But he's got this cool guy with his motorcycle and his sunglasses shows up, and yeah, this is where he goes, "It's Jack Ryan," and I'm like, what?
I do this my way.
Yeah. And then I have all caps underlined. Is that cop wearing a fucking fanny pack?
Gonna work something out here. I wanna make you happy.
He is. It's amazing. I was like, what the
Oh, boy.
Okay, this is incredible. And so we find out that our main guy, Starkraven, great name, his brother, Jack Ryan, killed his brother.
You killed my brother!
Listen, that never had to happen.
In the first
maybe
movie,
in the first
probably?
movie, I don't know. Yeah, we'll find out eventually. But and he's like, "You killed my brother. I'm getting revenge." But he takes forever to get his revenge. He could just shoot him at any point, but he has to monologue and then come out and they have like a mano duel. And I was like, this opening scene feels like it should be the finale of the movie. Like, there's this big standoff between these guys with a history, and there's explosions everywhere, and a big fight with like multiple different weapons. And I kept like, how is this the beginning of the movie? Good job on your hook, though. So eventually, I get into a big fight, and I love he gets them. They're beating each other with pipes.
Well, another amazing thing is like it starts off with he has the woman, the main woman we see at the beginning, like hostage.
Yeah,
and. Like, drop the gun or I'll slit her throat or something like that.
Drop the gun or I'll cut the bitch's throat.
Please drop the gun!
Okay.
He drops the gun.
Yeah.
What does he proceed to do?
Oh, he stabs the shit out of her. Holy shit, that moment. And we never even know if I'm assuming she's dead, but he stabs her in the gut so hard she flies off camera.
And then we have a wider shot after they get into a little scuffle and she's gone.
That's gone. I don't know what happened to her. He knifed her out of the movie. Like, he fucking stabbed her so hard she left the film. But there's also a moment before that when he first shows up in the boat, right when the fight breaks out, where he pulls the gun from under his fanny pack. There's a great scene. There's so much slow mo in this movie. Oh my god, everything is in slow mo.
If everything was put back up to its normal speed, this movie would be 20 minutes long.
It would. That's not even an exaggeration. Every action scene is just slow mo. All the time, but he pulls out his guns and he's two guns and he's running and he's shooting them and he shoots like 20 phones that are on a table.
Yes. Also, question, to our drug lords out there. What are all those phones for?
Yeah. They're burners. They're burner landlines.
Yes. Burner landlines. Thank you, Brian.
But I was like, all I could think of is like, because he hits so many of them, and I was imagining the scene from The Idiot or whatever, where the guy behind the table with the phones has got to be like, he really hates these phones.
He hates these cans. Stay away from the cans.
And not the first or last phone that's abused in this movie.
I was like, this writer had a vendetta against telephones. Because there's multiple slow-mo shots of phones dying in this movie. I was like, what is this? It's so delightful. Okay, so yeah, he stabs that guy in the next, or that girl in the next week. They get the sweet pipe fight.
Yes,
they're beating each other with pipes, and this he beats the guy. He beats him onto the ground. The guy's like laying there on the ground, drops his pipe, and our guy, instead of hitting him again and knocking him out or handcuffing him, he turns around and drops the pipe on the ground and walks away. So our guy can because earlier our partner guy got shot. We didn't talk about that. He gets shot in the stomach and he's gonna live, but he's laying on the ground over there. And our guy had put his gun down with one bullet in it because he took the slide out, but it still had one in the chamber or whatever. And the bad guy walks over, picks up the gun, grabs the partner, and is like, "I'm gonna kill him," and then he fucking kills him.
Well, yeah, there's another thing, and this sets up for something later. What do we know about this guy on these 2 separate occasions where he's threatened to do something?
He's done it.
He's done
fucking 100% done it. He does not fuck around when he says, "I'm gonna kill this person." He fucking kills him. So he shoots that dude in the head and kills the partner, who again doesn't even have a line, like maybe one line in this movie. And then so our guy's devastated, and I love he's reacting to this, and it cuts.
Oh wait, yes, this is amazing. Okay. So he's reacting to this. He sees this guy get shot, and then all the cops come in.
Yeah.
First off, I really wanted to have a Mystic River moment where he's being dragged down by like 5 cops. Is that my daughter in there? So I have that, and then he's let go by the cops after he's like, he's calmed down.
Yeah.
No, he's good now. Very next cut.
Cuts to him, cuts back.
Paramedics, they've already bagged him.
Body bag already.
You're gonna fry.
On a gurney, wheeling him out.
And you would think, oh, they have a time frame pass. No, they cut back to him and he's still looking at it.
I was like, what just happened? Those are the world's fastest paramedics.
And the crazy thing is, not the last time that happens in the movie.
That's so fucking amazing. I had so much fun watching this movie.
Jesse Starkraven, the jury has found you guilty on all counts. It is the decision of this court to sentence you to death. You will be sent to the state penitentiary awaiting your execution.
So then he's in jail. The bad guy's in jail, and there's a scene where he's like, they come in to get him.
And by the way, this is not prison protocol at all.
No, they come in to take him out.
Yeah, prison protocol is you handcuff them first, and then you would
then go in. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But no, they just go in, and he's like fighting off like 8 dudes, and then eventually they get him with like a sedative and knock him out.
Yeah.
And then they put him in a caged gurney, which I've never seen before. It's kind of awesome.
That's pretty dope. Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that in a movie. I wonder if those exist or if that's a thing. If it was an actual thing, you would think you would see it in more movies because it is dramatic. Like it is interesting. So they wheel him out, and then the next shot is a newspaper saying he escaped.
Yes. Huh?
And I'm like, wait, what?
Right.
Yeah, I was like very confused, and I'm like, okay, I guess now this is what doesn't make any sense. I was like, I put it together pretty quickly. Oh, and they show up. Well, actually, not the next shot. The next shot, they take him to a place that says Hurricane Research Center, because the warden eventually says we gave him to some people. And, you know, I don't know. They didn't tell me shit. I don't know shit.
Them feds come in here with all the proper transfer documentation, and they just took him.
But here's what doesn't make sense to me. So they take him. We see they take him to this research center, and then the next thing is like he escaped, and I'm like, wait, so did he escape from the research center? And he did escape? And then I was like, no, probably what happened is that's the story they put out to hide the fact that they took him to some super secret research center. And I'm like, but why would you say he escaped as your cover story and not just say he's dead?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
He's on death row. Just say a prisoner.
And the other thing is, you are putting all the local police on high alert.
They all go looking for him. I was like, it's the worst cover story. I was like, he escaped. Okay, great, brilliant.
Brian's an expert at this stuff.
It just seems very obvious that a prisoner on death row, if you want to pretend he's not around anymore, he died.
Yes.
It seems like super like Bad Guy 101. I don't know.
Hello, class, and welcome to Bad Guy 101. As you can see in your syllabus, our first section is how to make a death row prisoner disappear.
Can't we just say they escaped?
Get out.
Fine, but I'm doing it anyways.
So then when you get me introduced to the captain, because Jack Ryan comes in, he's like, he escaped. You see this shit? I'm going to go find him. And the captain, what is this captain's accent?
I have no clue. It's all over the place. There's some great accents in this movie.
Page 20. He escaped.
I know already. I got a printout.
Well, why didn't you call me?
Death row inmate escapees are federal business.
Now, I think part of the reason is because this was filmed in South Africa. And so I think there are some people that have like a South African accent that are hiding it, trying to hide it. Is maybe it's my only guess, because I did notice that this filmed in South Africa. It was like it's filmed.
Yeah, everybody sounds like Leonardo DiCaprio and Blood Diamond.
I'm here to do business with Commander Zero, all right?
I know that's not South African.
So I also we're introduced to our Jack Ryan slogan. He says it twice.
Oh my God!
In this movie.
What is it?
It's nothing but trouble.
Yeah, well, I was born for trouble.
I was born for trouble. Okay. And then he says that to the captain and then storms out and fails at opening the door.
Yeah, well, I was born for trouble.
Yeah! I don't know if you saw this. He storms out and he tries to open the door and his hand slips off the knob and he's like, nah.
Hey, we want to retake that shot?
No,
we're good.
It's your rage. It's great. It shows how angry you were. You couldn't even open the door right. Yeah, okay. Or it makes him look stupid.
I love the scene where he's packing, because now he's like going to look for this guy.
Yeah.
But he's packing and he's like just takes all the ammo and just shoves it into, what is that, like a motorcycle saddlebag?
I think so, yeah. Yeah,
get in there.
Get in there. So then we cut to the lab, Hurricane Research Center, and I was like, so I figured at this point, I figured out what was going on. Obviously, they're turning these prisoners into cyborgs.
It's basically Universal Soldier, but with criminals instead of veterans.
Yeah, and so, but I was like, that's a brilliant plan, turning a super psychotic murdering.
And they even say he still has all of his thoughts.
Yeah,
everything's the same up there.
Yeah, but he's just under our control.
Yeah,
he has emotions. He thinks. He feels. This bracelet is the key. Whoever wears it controls the cyborg.
And whenever you literally say these will be our warrior slaves, what do you name your leader?
This is Spartacus.
Spartacus.
Oh yeah, Spartacus. That's right. Spartacus. And I was like, that's the thing. He goes, they'll be our warrior slaves. And I'm like, and he's like pitching this. You assume the idea is he's talking to like defense contractors and higher ups in the government.
It just looks like people who are in.
Yeah, they're in business suits. Like none of them are in military outfits or anything. You would think they would be. But anyways, I was like, you're the bad guy when you describe something you've created as a slave.
We are their masters, and they are our warrior slaves.
You're the bad guy.
Yes. We named him Spartacus. Why? It's a cool name. What's it mean? Guy who led a slave revolt? Shit.
We didn't think this one through at all.
And if for some remote reason something were to go wrong.
I love to. So this is where they established that they have 3 different weapons.
That is amazing.
It's so good.
All right. Okay. First off, whenever you're trying to display the weapon capabilities, what do you normally do?
Shoot something.
And you'd show it.
Yeah.
What do they not do?
Show it.
No, nothing.
Our pulsating laser generator.
So there's a Gatling gun.
Yes.
Right. And
the Gatling gun.
I love how each of these just like brackets onto their arm.
Yeah. My favorite way is how they change them.
Oh yeah, by going into their chest. It's so stupid. It reminds me of like really shitty like 90s action figures that just like god damn. But the first one, the Gatling gun, Brian's about ready to fall apart.
Sorry.
I forget what the third one is. There's like
it's
a
a
knife
Gatling
too.
gun, a laser.
The laser is my favorite one.
Because it's not a laser.
Yes.
At all. In any definition of the word laser, it is not. A Gatling gun, a laser, and a flamethrower.
Flamethrower.
And my favorite, of course, is the Olympic torch. High intensity flamethrower.
And then there's randomly a knife too.
Yeah, but they don't explain that one, but he does use it at some point.
My favorite thing also about the flamethrower is they use it once for a very good reason. Yeah. Because it doesn't work.
Yes. They use it once in the very beginning of the movie and then never again. So then we cut back to the lab and it's that night and they're having like a party or something. Like the people that work at this lab. And the main guy, the head of the lab or whatever.
It's amazing.
It's so good. He pulls a girl in. He has some girl and they're like, and I'm like, he pulls her into the lab. And like, because they were like clearly at a party, and they were like, "Let's go find a room to fuck or whatever." I mean, favorite thing is like, why would you take her to this top secret cyborg lab?
Maybe he has a fetish of wanting other people to watch him bang.
He wants the cyborgs to watch him have sex. So they start making out stuff, and I love even the girls like, "Can we go somewhere else? This is terrifying."
Nope.
Couldn't we go to another room?
And then so she takes his controller off. And he does not protest at all and throws it on the floor over by the fucking cyborg. Yes. And then so the cyborg just randomly starts up for no real reason. And he doesn't kill the guy right away, but he like gets him and then or does kill him. I can't remember.
He doesn't kill that guy, and I don't think we get to see when
I don't think we ever see him kill that guy. He probably just burns with all the rest of them.
Yeah. No, he's in the back seat with them. So he goes in the he goes in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles battle shell with them. That's what that freaking vehicle is. It totally is.
Yeah.
So he's being held. The main scientist is being held with them.
Okay. And then so the girl runs out screaming, and this is where you talk about the knife thing or whatever.
He has like a
shoots
pneumatic,
a knife. Yeah. Shoots her in the back, and I love this. So she's like half undressed. She stumbles into the room where everybody else is.
And of course, what's the reaction?
Woo! Psychos. She stumbles in like topless, very clearly like dying, and they're all like, "Woohoo, yeah!" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" And then they realize because she falls over and you see the knife in her back, and they all run into the room like, "What's going on?" And then this is where the slave uprising happens, and they kill like a lot of the scientists. And I love the shot where he rips the one dude's arm off.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah. And he's really hard to that's the thing too. Once the bad guy gets, he's so impossible to understand.
Because the voice is impossible.
The voice effect they put on him to make him sound like a cyborg, I couldn't understand half of what he said.
The rest of the bracelets.
So this is where they start flamethrowing everybody after they're like, we're gonna, basically the guy goes, we're gonna lead a rebellion and we're gonna create a whole army of cyborgs and enslave the humans is the idea, is what he says. And they start flamethrowing the rest of the scientists.
And it goes like 5 feet.
It doesn't even hit him. And there's a guy, I love this, there's a guy rolling on the floor like, and he's not on fire. He is not being hit by fire.
Oh, it's amazing.
He's just rolling on the floor. And I was like, oh, God, movie, good job. So he goes, there's like an FBI guy or something. That weird guy with another weird accent that I couldn't place. The guy who goes into his office and he's like throwing baseballs and shit.
The super southern guy who's in Iowa for some reason.
Now, if there's anything I can do for a fellow officer, well, hell, I'm here for you. I tell you what, Jack, you leave your number with my assistant. And if something comes up, I'll give you a call.
Is that what that accent was?
Yeah, I think
Holy
so.
shit.
Maybe Texas or something. I don't know.
Like Cajun?
It's all over the place.
I couldn't figure out what the fuck his accent was.
You looking for trouble, Ryan?
And I love it. He's like hitting stuff with baseball bats. And this movie, our main character, Jack Ryan, fights like 8 dudes every 5 minutes. Just all of it is like a ton of dudes attacking him and him beating all of them up.
Oh, come on, man.
What are you looking at? Say hi. Oh, hey.
This is a moment where he's fighting. I think it's when he's fighting all these guys in his office where the music, again, makes no sense. It's literally, it's like this weird, like, horn, like, it's like taps. It's like the movie that would, or the music that would play at the end of a war movie.
I'm warning you.
That's like kind of like stoic and like reflective, but it's during a fight scene, and I'm like, what is going on? What the fuck is this?
You're gonna tell me what's going on. Hey.
Oh, so then they go to the factory. They go to the other plant. The cyborgs show up at the other plant.
And the Jack Ryan's also being tailed now.
Yeah. So
so they get in the battle shell.
Yeah. It's what it is.
It's a green armored van.
Yeah, it's great. It's fucking great.
So they drive up and my favorite thing is the main dude asks for identification.
Sorry, sir. I will need to see a special clearance.
What's the proper response to that?
Shoot him or kill him, right? Or what is it? I don't know.
I thought he like crushed his head or something.
Oh yeah, probably. I don't remember.
Point being is he gets killed immediately. And they just run in and kill everybody.
And I love too in this place. I don't know what it is. This is one of those. It's a great bad movie trope that where apparently everywhere there's a person standing, there's a giant tank full of high explosives behind them. Because these people are just shooting miniguns, and everywhere they shoot.
All right, so there's a great shot where it's looking up, and they see the coolant tower and everything, and there's the bad guys, but there's 5 of them.
Is there?
Yes. In that one shot, there's 5 of them.
How many are there normally? 4, right?
4.
Yeah, there should be 4.
Yeah.
The commanding officer of the 4-member quad.
And I looked at it and I was like,
wait a second.
Where'd they get the extra one from?
Where did the extra guy come from? Is it the guy? Is it the boss guy? Like, and he's not a cyborg or something?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
You'll see it and be just as confused.
So this too, there's so many. This is the other scene where there are so many people falling off high things, screaming, and I was like, whoever made this movie must love Enya, because boy, are they getting a lot of Enya in this episode. Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time.
In addition, also they must have known they must have known a guy who had the inflatables like drop mat.
Oh yeah,
just for that.
Yeah.
So they like his friend was probably that guy who owned that, and they were like, let's just keep using this. Come on.
Yeah. So then our guy goes in and breaks into a place to get information on this.
On
I don't even
5-inch
know,
floppy disks.
5-inch floppies. It's great. It's so good. And I also the version we watched on YouTube had like Dutch subtitles or something.
Yes.
And in this one particular moment, I don't know. I'm going to get a version without subtitles for the review, but I just will put this one moment in. He's doing something and a dog starts barking and he goes, shit. And the subtitle just says shit. And I was like, and then so they catch him, like 2 or 3 guys catch him with the dog or whatever, and they got him at gunpoint. And I was like, well, somebody's got him at gunpoint. He's about to beat up all of these guys, which is exactly what happens. He throws a gun at a guy's face. There's some really great delivery in this. We cut to 2 of the ATG guys, I don't know, some guy, and then the girl from later, who's like his sidekick.
The girl who like can't wear a proper professional like pantsuit or something like that.
She also can't act.
Cut the main fuel line at the plant.
Yes, it's amazing.
Her and this guy give lines back and forth, like they're talking about how the hurricane plant got blown up or whatever and like taken over.
Yeah.
And, oh my god, it's the most wooden.
From what we gather, our security was totally vaporized, and here's the kicker: they're locked down and dug in tight.
Cut the main fuel line at the plant. The backup generator will be out in less than 48 hours, and that'll take the cyborg recharge units out.
Like, it got to the point with this lady that after enough times of her seeing her deliver lines, I was like, are they building? No. Okay, here's what would be amazing.
If she's a robot.
Yes! If she ends up being a cyborg, and the whole time me going like, God, she's so robotic when she talks, was on purpose.
How did you ever get to be a federal agent? Failing as persistently as you do in following orders.
Yo, weirdly enough, this is the exact opposite of Halloween 3.
Yeah. But it's not. She's just a person who can't act. I was so disappointed. I thought it was going to be a really subtle, brilliant thing.
Her super professional pantsuit's so baggy. It looks like she's wearing MC Hammer pants.
The 90s, man. Everything was baggy. And there's a guy in the background of that scene with the worst 90s hair. Like, it's like bleached blonde and just terrible. So then he runs into the old sheriff, which we don't need to talk about too much, but he's great. There's an old sheriff who's just like got forced to retire because he started looking into this place and they basically made him retire. But he kind of helps him for part of the movie. And then he gets run over in a phone booth.
Much to do about this hate for phones.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about. Holy shit! I totally do. It is so much in this movie.
Also for our younger viewers, a phone booth
is what Doctor Who flies around.
Yes,
the Doctor.
That's a police phone booth.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
Box, yeah. We're introduced to a new music motif at this point, out of nowhere. When we're whenever it happens a lot, whenever we see our main cyborg guy, Spartacus. It is literally the first 3 notes of Toccata and Fugue in D minor, the Dracula song. Ba-da-da,
yes.
Ba-da-da-da,
yes. I kept thinking that was going to happen every time.
Prepare to move out.
But every time it just goes ba-da-da. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, is that how much they could use of that without being sued? But I'm sure Toccata and Fugue's got to be in like public domain. It's probably from like. Then this is the
truck stop. This is an amazing scene.
It's incredible.
Okay, so immediately they go in, and I guess they're asking for diesel fuel.
Yeah, he asked for diesel for their tank or whatever.
Yeah.
Howdy, what can I do for you?
Do you have any diesel fuel?
And then the guy punches him for no reason. He could just go get the gas and leave, but he's evil, I guess.
He eventually gets a shotgun.
Yeah,
to no avail.
Or the truck guy.
The owner of the truck
owner of the shop. Yeah,
fires twice. Like, this isn't doing anything.
Yeah. And simultaneously, the other cyborgs are murdering all of his workers by like kicking car jacks out,
wrapping an exhaust pipe around his throat,
his neck. Yeah. And also at this point, right as this is all going on, a mom and a son pull up to get gas.
Okay, that whole thing infuriates me. We'll get to that.
In a T-top, it's important, or like a convertible.
But the owner like gets on the phone and is calling for the sheriff. Yeah. I hate phones in movies. Phones.
Die! Throws it against the wall in slow motion and it explodes. It's so fucking amazing.
In the arms of the angel.
This kid is watching this guy just get choked with an exhaust pipe. And our hero has finally made his way here. He's been trailing them for a while.
How did he?
Well, he was
tracking.
He was trailing them from the reactor.
Okay, I couldn't figure out. I was like, that's a hell of a coincidence.
But this kid can't run, so he just stumbles over himself a lot.
As he's getting chased by one of the cyborgs slowly, the mom just bails on this.
Yes, completely.
She's like, come on, Timmy, or whatever the fuck. And he's like, and he falls. And she hops in the car, starts it up, and is ready to fucking roll out of this bitch. And it's all in slow-mo.
In the entirety of this county's everything shows up.
Yeah,
law enforcement
all
wise.
the cops show up. Everybody shows up.
They get turned into Swiss cheese.
Oh, they all get obliterated. That one female cop gets like shot like 100 times by a minigun. And I love too, this is where they're shooting the laser, and it is very clearly they stuck an M80 in, or not even like a fountain or something in the barrel of this thing. It is just fireworks.
And it says it's a laser.
Yeah,
it's a laser. What do they shoot it with?
What do you mean?
It's a helicopter.
Oh yeah, he shoots it with the laser. It just explodes. But like it's just like a grenade launcher. It looks like it's a grenade launcher. Whenever they shoot somebody with this thing, it's like explodes. It doesn't shoot a laser.
But he saves the kid and gets him.
In slow-mo.
By the way, I'm surprised this femur didn't shove up into his torso.
I was like, he's a giant metal cyborg, and he just kicks him over with no problem. And then he grabs the kid,
and gets him into the car. Then we go back to the shootout thing where they're blowing up miniature helicopters.
It's so good. It's so good.
We get through this whole thing, and then we do a hard cut to inside of this truck stop again, and our Jack Ryan is sneaking in the back, and you're like, wait, you just left that way.
How are you here now? Like, he just snuck around the whole fight. It doesn't make any sense. It literally.
But he gets into a glorious fight with Stark Raven.
Yes, they have a sweet standoff.
Jack.
And then there's a big fight. They get eventually end out up front, and
I guess he gets thrown. This is one of my favorite parts is where he gets thrown through the window, and then he gets punted like a football.
Yeah. And then the best moment of this scene. So our guy kicks, and again, this I can't stress enough. You'll know as you watch. The score of this is so unexciting. It's just the worst. And I looked up who did it. It's Bob Mithoff. So fuck you. And the guy kicks over a giant gas tank and rolls it at the cyborg guy. And he picks it up.
I gotta stop you for a second because this pissed me off. Whenever Stark Raven put on his Gatling gun thing and he's firing at him and he's trying to take cover behind a thing, and you can see Stark Raven in the background with him hiding behind a car.
Yeah.
They're in the same path. Like, he can clearly see you.
Yes.
We can see him and you in the same thing. You're not in cover at all.
It's like in a video game where you're trying to get in cover and you accidentally cling to the wrong side and you're like, fuck, go around the corner. Fuck.
But I do love where he picks up the tank.
Oh,
it's amazing.
God. So he picks up the tank and our guy pulls out a gun and is shooting at it and it explodes, but the shot where it explodes.
Okay, this is glorious in every conceivable way.
Oh my God.
My favorite part is where he instantly gets covered in heat resistance gel.
Yeah. Yeah, once he's burning or whatever. But, well, because the shot of him exploding.
No, I'm talking about Jack Ryan.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Where it explodes and he's like being thrown from the explosion, and he's just instantly covered in the gel, the heat resistant gel.
Yeah.
And then he rolls and he's just completely fine.
Yeah. So the shot of the cyborg holding it, and I literally moments before this I had written, this cyborg costume is only slightly better than the Robo Vampire one, and I was harking back to Robo Vampire, and then literally the next moment as I was typing that, the shot happens where he explodes holding the tank, and it is a dummy shot on par with the exploding aluminum foil robot from Robo Vampire. Clearly a wire-like frame covered in tinfoil, and it explodes. It lit like it into flames, catches fire. You can see there are frames in the movie where you can see just like completely blown apart. Like this dummy gets just shredded. It is so clearly a dummy.
All we're missing is Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes. It is so clearly a fucking dummy holding a tank up that just gets obliterated. And now I will say they fucking blew it up. They blow up so much shit in this movie, but it's so fucking good.
And this is the part where the entire truck stops going up.
Yeah, everything's
and
exploding.
It is glorious.
Everything, just so much. I was like,
and this is legitimate explosion. This is not scaled down.
No. Now I think they're mostly on the front. It was probably like an abandoned truck stop, so it was like mostly like.
I would hope so.
Can we borrow your truck stop for a shoot? Yeah, what are you gonna do? Not set off 8,000 pounds of explosives and gasoline, but. So yeah, because this is the thing that blew my mind. It's like the pyro budget alone for this movie must have been through the roof. I was like, so clearly Cyborg Cop 1 must have made a bit of money, because how else would they have a budget like this to make a second one? So I Googled it, and this is why I want to do the first one. As I looked it up, I was going through the cast list on IMDb, and guess who's in Cyborg Cop? It's our main guy, is the main cop again. But I assume his partner or buddy or something, the second build in this movie, in the first one, is fucking Gimli. It's John Rhys Davies. John Rhys Davies is in Cyborg
awesome.
Cop 1. So I just have to watch it for that. I was like, maybe he plays... It would be great if he was, what's his name from Indiana Jones? He played the same character.
Oh, God, I
can't remember his name.
The Egyptian dude?
Yeah. I can't remember his name for the life of me. But yeah, if he was just that character randomly in Cyborg Cop, would be incredible.
It's going to be like taking candy from small children.
Part RoboCop. Part Terminator. Cyborg Cop.
And then they get to and then him and the old guy, I don't know what happens. He runs away or whatever, and the cyborg's still alive. And then him and the old guy get to a garage, and they're making bombs.
This is insane. Okay, so Starkraven says, I want them found, and I want him brought to me.
Brought to me, yeah.
Ryan! Get this son of a bitch!
So he's with the retired sheriff, and they are making pipe bombs, basically.
Yeah.
And within about 10 seconds, the two guys just come out of nowhere.
One step near your history.
Spartacus, father of our nation, wants you, Ryan.
Burst through the door, like, well, we found you. That was easy. Like, I don't know how they found him so quick, but yeah, the two cyborgs just burst through the door, and then apparently they operate on heat vision because...
Something like that, because they are immediately blinded by roadside flares.
Yeah. Again, he shoots the laser gun, and the old guy gets shot by the laser gun, but it's not a laser. It just explodes. Like, he fucking explodes. But it doesn't kill him because he has to get stabbed to die.
And what is this hand crank, like, welding thing?
It's not a hand crank.
What was it? He's like cranking something.
No, I don't think so.
It's like a red panel or something like that. It's got a wheel, and he's cranking the wheel.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Or something.
I don't know.
Point being is they're getting into like a big scuffle. The sheriff like runs over a dude, which of course does nothing.
Does nothing.
Jack Ryan is like slowing a guy. Somehow, I guess a fire extinguisher will slow them down.
Slows them down.
Freeze.
But he just starts welding this guy to a workbench.
Yeah, my favorite thing about this scene is that I can't stress enough how long, and I'm not going to be able to put it all in for fair right reasons, like the whole entirety. I'll do my best to portray how many times we cut back to our guy. We cut back and forth from our guy welding this guy to the
sheriff getting killed.
It happens like 8 times.
Bitch.
It's like it keeps cutting back, and our guy is still welding him and then hitting him with the fucking fire extinguisher, and then welding him and then hitting him with the fucking fire extinguisher, and it goes on forever. I was like, I feel like they thought this was going to be way more exciting to watch than it was, because it's not. He's just like, and at first he's not even welding him to anything. He's just like electrocuting him, basically.
All right, so this is a basic film editing thing. This is what we call parallel action.
Yes.
Right? You do all this stuff where you keep cutting back and forth between the sheriff and this guy and Jack Ryan welding the other dude. What goes through your mind on what's going to happen? Ideally, it would be Jack Ryan's like, oh man, sheriff's going to get stabbed. I better...
Goes do something.
Nope. Sheriff just gets
just
killed.
gets obliterated. And our guy is completely oblivious, welding away.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's parallel action, which is, you know, the idea is to build tension between these two different things.
There's something going to resolve together.
In one regard, yes, there's tension because the sheriff's about ready to get stabbed. In the other regard, the guy just has on shades and he's welding kit. But he takes one of the pipe bombs and shoves it into the chest cavity where they've been pulling their tools out of. It's amazing.
It's so good. Yeah, he's just like, whoop, shoves it in there and then throws the guy and he explodes.
It's like a fucking carnival game almost.
Yeah. So this is where we set up for the big final showdown. Basically, he goes and her and him argue, and then she leads him out, and then he beats up some guys.
And then we have the worst crime in this entire movie. He loses his fanny pack, or he no longer gets to wear it. I think, yeah. It is so. He doesn't get to wear it anymore, which makes me sad.
fanny pack. The arms of an angel. And so this sets up for the big final showdown where him and the lady work together now. He's like, look, with your weapons and my know-how.
It's amazing.
What do you suggest?
Your weapons, my know-how.
You would think that means, hey, you have a bunch of weapons and stuff and people who know how to use that stuff.
Yeah, like agents and stuff.
Instead, it's just going to be me and you, and we're going to take on like 14 robots.
A bunch of robots by ourselves. Why would just the two of them go? And also, why would she go? She's like an administrative person.
She is the deputy administrator of this department.
Yeah. And she's going on the final mission.
You don't go on field missions.
No, what the fuck? Oh, it's so stupid.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
But anyway, so they get, and then so it's at the cooling tower place, that plant, and they got a trunk full of weapons, explosives.
I love how stealthy they're trying to be getting in there. They're like, this is the way I went in last time.
Sure you know where you're going?
Yeah. The back door. Come on.
Yeah.
Right on the monitor.
We have movement on the perimeter, sir. He comes alone with only a woman.
Yeah. So they have a ton of weapons, and one of the things they brought is a grenade, and this is important because it's a moment later. It's a grenade she pulls out, and she says it's a super powerful grenade. It creates 2,000 psi worth of.
Oh yeah,
force.
the ball bearing one.
Yeah.
This baby here has the velocity of 2,000 pounds per square inch.
Yeah, 2,000 psi worth of force or whatever, which I looked it up, and so like it's something crazy, like even like 50 psi will like kill a person. It's like a very low threshold to kill a person compared to the 2,000 psi. I'm sure I'm wrong on that, but it's something crazy low compared to 2,000.
And they have thermite laced like grenade launcher type thing, which is like, all right then.
Thermite grenades, the latest in armor-piercing fire. On impact, they generate a magnesium core heat of 8,000 degrees.
Yeah, it's amazing, and but we don't really ever see those do anything.
No,
they just shoot people with them. So, anyways, they go in, and there's when they see him. I love when the bad guy sees him on the monitor. There's an 80-yard line of him going, "Who the fuck does he think he is?
Who the fuck does he think he is?"
But the intensity of the 80-yard line versus the actor is not even close. The actor just like, who the fuck does he think he is? But the line is delivered like, who the fuck does he think he is?
That's amazing. Yes, it's great.
Who the fuck does he think he is?
And I love how we went over all this arsenal that they have.
Yeah.
And then the first thing that shoots and kills one of these robots It's just like M4 or M6.
He's got an SR25. He's got a sniper
SR25.
rifle. Yeah,
that's an SR25.
Yeah, I'm like 99%.
That thing
sure.
shoots quick. Holy shit!
He shoots pretty quick. I mean, it is a semi-automatic. Like it's not, or what? I'm sure that's not the right term, but whatever. I
will defer to Brian on this case.
I googled it because I only knew what it was because I recognized it. I used to play a shit ton of SOCOM 2 U.S. Navy SEALs on PlayStation 2, and that was one of the sniper rifles that you could use in it. And I'm pretty sure it's. And I looked it up. I think it's an SR25.
And And for all the resistance that these robots have been putting up to every other person who's been trying to shoot them and stuff, they can't match up to this weaponry at all.
Not at all.
They just get turned into like tinfoil.
Yeah. Literally, like the shot where he shoots the three of them with a rocket launcher. It's another one of the fucking dummy shots where they just get obliterated. Also, he does this weird maneuver at one point where he has he's got the sniper rifle, and he dives with the bipod out and lands on the floor and shoots. And I'm like, I've never seen somebody do that in a movie. Amazing. That's incredible. And so they get to the final place where they like the cyborg like stations are or whatever, and I was like looking at these props. I'm like, and I guess I saw them earlier. I just didn't notice it. It's like it just looks like they stole a bunch of old props from Star Trek TOS. Like these are like not 90s. It's bad. It's real bad.
And there's a shot here. There's a shot here where he shows up on like a whole bunch of different monitors, just as one big image.
Yeah, yeah.
And the only thing I could think of was Jason Patrick in Speed 2.
Shooting the monitors.
Now I just gotta do whatever I can.
So he basically, the guy's on the monitor, and as he pulls, he's like, I got your son. Or I guess it's his son. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. He's like, I'm going to kill him. And then...
and this is what we brought back to.
Yeah.
What do we know about this guy?
He's crazy. He goes through with that shit. He just kills people when he says
so the entire threat, meaningless, because he's going to do it anyways.
Yeah, yeah. He's just going to do it.
And what happens? He claims he's going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
He'll do it.
That's right. Change my mind. I'm gonna kill the kid.
Basically, our guy just shit talks him until he's like, fine, come here. And then we'll fight or even, I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah. You and me.
The game's over, Ryan. You lost.
Come on, Starkraven, I'm calling you out. You and me.
Bring him to me. Now.
So he's gonna throw the kid over a railing, I guess. Or
something like that.
And our guy does a sweet jump kick and then grabs a rope or a chain that was hanging there, flies across and drop kicks our guy and his kid runs away. And then
there's a magnet. How do they work?
Oh, a magnet bomb. Yeah, I guess. There's the magnet. Yeah. Sorry, the big magnet. He starts putting bombs on him. And then also there's the moment, and this is why I mentioned the 2000 PSI grenade that she talked about. He jumps down to a platform, and the guy follows him. He pulls that grenade out of his pocket, drops it on the ground.
And then gets maybe like 5 feet away.
4 feet away!
Yes.
He would be liquid. He would be a puddle on the ground if that thing actually put out 2000 PSI or whatever the fuck she says it does. Even if it was a normal grenade, he would be dead. He's like 4 feet from it.
But they keep getting into a fight all the way up to the point where they've lured him into being underneath this magnet.
And her son pulls the magnet.
And by the way, this is a great shot wherever he got, because clearly this was a reverse shot. And my favorite way of knowing that is that there's still smoke up there from where his chest wound was.
Yeah.
And you're just like, come on.
So clearly a reverse shot of him, like, oh, look, he got sucked up on the magnet.
It's not nearly as bad as Anaconda's reverse shot.
I think it is, because I didn't notice the Anaconda one. This one was so obvious.
You didn't notice the upwards waterfall?
I didn't notice it at first, and then I just wasn't paying attention to the background. This is like, it's the focal point of the moment where it's so fucking obvious.
Fucking magnets, how do they work?
But he gets the bracelet and literally pushes. I love how she has to explain, push the red button.
Push the red button.
Push the red
Yeah.
Button.
Yeah.
About acted like that.
Yeah. Exactly. She is truly terrible.
So he pushes one button and they all get... it looks like they've all like short-circuited.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised doesn't fry her.
Yeah, they're holding her and they like all electrify and I'm like, oh, is she just gonna get electrocuted? No, she's fine. So he drops the guy, he hits a button and the magnet drops the guy onto like a thing of wires.
A bunch of wires, bunch of like high voltage stuff.
Yeah, so he's just getting electrocuted, like fried. And then they run out. They planted bombs earlier too, which is important. Yeah. They all run out together, and then the final...
The miniatures.
Oh my god, this is so glorious.
This is... Okay, this is clearly just shitty paper mache and cardboard.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, it looks pretty reasonably like the thing, at least. But so they have a miniature, and they blow up a miniature of these cooling towers and stuff. My favorite thing is when they blow this up, you can see in one shot... So the cooling towers in real life are like a couple 100 feet tall. Like they're huge. Like you know what nuclear cooling towers or whatever look like. They're huge. In the shot of the miniature, it explodes and a chunk of the thing flies so fast off the screen, it got like launched into fucking orbit.
It took down a commercial aircraft.
It is a giant, it is a house-sized chunk of concrete and steel gets launched at like Mach 7. Like that would legitimately like break orbit. Like it's the speed at which it leaves the screen for the scale. Like the scale is so off. Like the speed it flies off, if it were the same size it was in real life, like I said, that's coming down and killing an entire city somewhere. Like it's amazing.
And then we are left with them walking off in the distance.
Yeah. So good. So good. And then that's it. Cyborg Cop 2. The end. Because also there was implied that they're like together now. Or like they were flirting during the mission. So
whatever.
They're going to go raise the little boy together. For me, this is good bad. I 100%. I was never. Oh, really?
I'll agree, good bad, but not quite to the same level as you.
Okay, this is up there for me amongst not like as good as, because here's the thing, it's a schlocky action film and like a bad cheesy action film, so it's not like, because it's fairly competently shot. Fairly, I mean, what I mean is that it's not like very obviously terrible. And there's lots of really good stunts. Like a lot of money was put into the film.
A lot of glorious stunts.
The thing that makes it good bad to me is it's a lot of bad acting and like cheesy lines and bad like props and costumes that look really cheap and cheesy and like put together really quick. And so there's lots of silly stuff to laugh at in that bad sci-fi action movie way, but it's also, I've had a ton of fun watching it. Like it's so much nonsense and action going on. It's not boring. And there's enough silly like weird mistakes and like backward reverse shots and like all the stuff we talked about. There's enough of those peppered throughout that for me it qualifies as good bad. But yeah, it's not upper echelon, but it's a mid tier, upper tier for me. I think it's a pretty solid good bad flick. I quite enjoyed it. As always, you can support us on Patreon. We have a Patreon. Where
all right, you can't add annotations anymore.
No, I can put cards in.
Whatever.
I can put cards in. Which I normally do if I remember. Where we have a podcast. We have AMAs on there. We've done a couple of AMAs. We're doing those every month or two. We'll do an AMA where people in Patreon can ask us questions and we answer them. And we go into depth about movies we've worked on. Anything you want, pretty much. Also, at the $5 level, you get access to Broken Dreams, the second episode of Pseudos. Kyle's. It's going to be a 3-part series breaking down Kyle's feature-length film called Pseudos.
Giant quotes there.
Yes. The $5 level, you get access to that. The third part will be out in a month or two. But you have access to all that and all of the back catalog of Broken Dreams, which I think is up to about 9 or 10, 8 episodes. It's close to 10 episodes now. And will be once we're wrapped up with that.
And this could be soon. I'm not sure. We may have something a little special coming up for something that we've worked, that one of us has worked on. And I'm going to have that be a big surprise. It's not a surprise for
I
our
think we
patrons.
said
They kind of already know.
on Patreon, we mentioned what it was.
yeah.
But for you guys, and it'll be a Patreon exclusive, I think. We're not sure, but we'll probably. So look out for that. I have a podcast called This Film Is Lit, where we talk about movies that are based on books. Our most recent episode is about, when this is out, Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. Oh, God. Yeah, that's based on a book. I had no idea.
Look, it's Michael J. Fox. It's Sally Field, right?
Yeah, Sally Field and Donna Mesh. Or
I have no clue.
He was in Cocoon. It's like the most thing he's most known for.
Oh, wait, Donna Mesh. Oh, from frickin' Trading Places.
Yeah,
He's
Trading Places.
One of the Duke brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my podcast. This Film Is Lit. We're also, I had something else there. I want to put this out there just as a potential warning. We've been doing this show nonstop every 2 weeks since September of
July of 2016.
2016. Mm-hmm. So 2 years. Now.
Yes.
Or like exactly 2 years.
Hauling ass.
Yeah. So every 2 weeks, so we're at episode 57. There's a chance we may miss one in the coming month while I'm moving. There's a chance. I don't want to say we will. We're going to try not to. I'm just saying there's a chance there may be an episode that we can't get one out for
the end result of that would be gifted with a new studio. That's not somebody's office.
That's not a combination office studio storage room. So
yes.
The new house the house I'm looking at moving into, me and my girlfriend, is gonna have we're gonna get a specific room that is the studio for Good Bad or Bad Bad, and it's gonna be decked out, and we're gonna get a lot of new equipment and that sort of thing once we get there, new lights. And it's all thanks to the patron dollars and the advertising money we get from doing this silly thing.
Yes, it looked like we were just hoarding it under a mattress for a while.
We are. I mean, we have been. Yes. It is just sitting in an account. We are using it when we need it. We bought some equipment here and there.
But this will be the payoff of making everything look glorious.
Yes. It's going to be exciting. We're going to get, everything. We're going to drop a lot of money on the new studio. We're also an LLC now. That was what some of that money went towards, is we're a legit business. Good Bad Media LLC.
I are business person.
Yeah. So now if one of these people sues us, they don't sue us.
Yeah.
They sue our company.
Yeah, and then we immediately see how screwed we are and just file for bankruptcy under the company and just be like, all right, and we're gone.
Yeah, and we disappear and right off into the night. But anyways, thanks for supporting us. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to warn you, then we may miss an episode. We're going to try not to, but it may happen. We love you all. Until next time, keep watching movies.
Especially Cyborg Cop 2. Cyborg
Cop?
Might as well be
Cyborg Cop.
Cyborg Cop 2.
Cyborg Cop 2.